How's it going, everyone? I have a very special video today because I'm going to be talking about the new Bladee album called The Fool with my good friend Ryan Leith from NotRealMusic. How's it going, Ryan?
Hey man, how's it going? I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to getting into this review
Y-
here because I think judging by both of our histories, I think with Blade as an artist, it's kind of like a celebration review. I feel because I we know a little bit about what we both think of the album already, but even previous albums. Especially with me, I was like on the hate side with Blade. So,
Yeah.
and I know you weren't as big of a fan back then too. So, yeah, no, this is good. This is good. It's good to sit down and talk about this guy with someone else in a review. So yeah, I'm all good. I'm excited. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good as well. And yeah, not only did I, not like him, I was also on the full-on hate train the first time I ever checked him out, which I think the first album I heard from him was Red Light.
Oh yeah,
And, this was back in like 2018, and it was before I really got into any kind of like trap or cloud rap, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like maybe besides like Travis Scott and Young Thug.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
even those guys like aren't comparable to Blade really, but like
No,
I'm just trying to say I was more so and I don't even know if you can call Blade hip hop, but like I when I first got into him it was like I thought he was a hip hop artist. But what sorry, I just totally lost my train of thought, but I was saying that yeah, Red Light. Anyway, so like back in when that album came out, I was someone who was definitely like kind of a hip hop purist, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So like when I hear this guy who's just auto crooning in at the time what I thought was like a really like fragile, like annoying voice, like I just thought he like I was confused as to where the talent was supposed to be. He just sounded really like dull. I didn't care for the instrumentals. I just thought it sounded like really bad. Like, to me, it just sounded like any other. I mean, it's horrible. Like Blade fans might get like mad at me, even though I don't
uh
even
oh,
feel this way anymore. But back in the day, like I would just heard that I'm like, how is this different from any like typical SoundCloud rapper? Like,
yeah.
and I'm not saying that's how I feel now. I'm just saying that's how I felt when I first heard him, just so that people don't come at my neck. But I don't know about you, but the first time I don't know if I can say I like came to like love Blade, but with the Trash Island project that he did with the rest of Drain Gang, that was the first project that had some songs where I was like, okay, I kind of see what they're doing here. And then the first album as a whole that I really like loved was 333 from last year.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
how about you?
Yeah, no, I don't think. I mean, I haven't gone back to that Trash Island one yet at any time, like in the past few months. I heard it when it came out. I still didn't really get it. And then obviously there was Ice Dance. So I think Ice Dance. I don't know when Ice Dance came out. Was that late
I
2018,
think it came out,
2019,
I think that
2019?
was 2017 actually.
Oh,
Or maybe it was early 2018.
yeah, yeah,
I
something like
can,
that.
but it was, I think it definitely came out before Trash Island.
Yeah, I remember not liking that, not really liking Trash Island, and then was it Exeter? Exeter last year? Yeah, yeah. Was that like April, something like last year?
Exeter.
Yeah, yeah,
That was, it might have been even like January, February, but I
yeah.
didn't listen to it until after I really got into like 333.
Yeah, yeah, that was yeah. That again, I still wasn't getting that one. I hated like most of the songs, especially "Merry Go Round." I couldn't stand that. But then 333 came out, and I don't know what clicked because I wouldn't say it's like wildly different to everything he's put out, but something just felt different, and like the vocals sounded a bit cleaner. The tracks were a bit more melodic. The instrumentals just sounded better. I don't know. There was just something about it that felt like, again, Drain Gang fans and Blade fans are probably listening to this and thinking, well, this guy is an idiot. Because I know they've been liking everything he's put out since the dawn. But yeah, something with 333 felt different to me. So that was, yeah, my turning point,
Yeah.
my official turning point.
I'm kind of in the same boat where like even now when I listen to that album compared to his other projects, like it does feel like it does feel like a distinct sound from what he
Yeah,
was doing on Ever Since or Red Light. And I also struggle to put into words exactly what it is. I
yeah,
think honestly, just like the overall production value as a whole has stepped up. Like I feel like even coming down to like the mixing,
yep,
in terms of his vocals and just how the whole tracks come together, it just feels more complete and less like I don't know. I'm not trying to shit on his early material too much because it has grown on me a bit, but I
yeah.
even though I do like the earlier stuff more, I still think that his more recent stuff like 333 is better overall, and I think that's one of the reasons why I just do think that like as a musician or as a artist, like his craft has just kind of elevated over the years and some of those like more detailed aspects of the music. But yeah, so we both kind of had our change of opinion on Blade around the same time, and that would have been was it 2020 that 333 came out? I don't know why I can't
Yeah,
remember,
yeah, last
but
year. I think it
yeah,
was.
he
Okay, go.
just dropped so many projects that like it's hard to keep track of when they
Yeah,
were all coming out. But
yeah. And usually it
yeah,
would
and
be.
then
It's, oh, sorry, go on.
no, you go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Just usually, it would be not an issue, but sometimes artists dropping too much at once can just be like, I don't know. But I don't know. It's not really
Yeah.
making Blade suffer. I think he's somehow showing improvements with each album, which is really impressive.
And I think maybe what has helped him not feel like he's been releasing too much is that, even though for last year, for example, he released 3 albums, they all kind of had different sounds from each other.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Exeter had this weird, almost like mechanical, like fairy tale like vibe. And then, was it Good Luck that he did with Mecha Talk?
Yeah, I really like that one. I think you didn't like it that much, did you?
Yeah, I've struggled to get into that one. I even tried it again recently. I'm still not feeling it too much. I do love the drama remix with Charlie XCX,
Oh, yeah, that's pretty
and
cool. Yeah.
I really like they put out a bonus track from it recently. I think it was called like Gates or something, and I actually like that better than like every song on the original.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't hate the direction that they went in, like more of the hyper pop, if you want to call it that sound. But something about the songs themselves just hasn't clicked with me too much. But I don't quite hate that project like some of his fans seem to. That one had a very divisive reaction even amongst his own fan base. But
Oh, yeah, definitely.
yeah, I know you enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I liked like the trance direction he was going in with that one. I think it kind of
Yeah,
worked for his vocals and stuff. It just sounded cool. I liked it, but I think he's kind of took a little bit of that influence on this new one. There are some tracks that feel a little similar, but not quite the same. I don't know what you think of that.
I have seen a lot of people talking about how this new one has a pretty heavy trance influence.
Yeah,
But I'll just admit up front that I have no experience with trance as a genre, so I don't
yeah,
even really know like what that means. But I'll tell you where the album The Fool, like I guess now we'll finally get to talking about this new one.
yeah,
Where it separates itself for me is I just feel like it has this really like light fairy-like sound almost, and his vocals feel a lot lighter and prettier and
yeah,
almost a bit more like Echo 2K-ish, if you know what I mean. Like
yeah,
a lot of the songs, he's more like he's performing in that vein than what he was doing on any of his older projects. And overall, the project kind of felt like he was expanding on the sound that he had on his single "Girls Just Want to Have Fun."
Oh,
I don't know
yeah,
if you heard that one,
yeah.
but
I get
that
you.
was probably one of my like favorite singles that he's ever dropped, like non-album singles, and it's one that I definitely played like over and over again. So and on that one he had he had a vocal style more similar to what he was doing on this project, and the whole song just had this like lighter happier dancier vibe, and I feel
Yeah,
like a lot of that kind of carried over to this project.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with you as well with like the prettier aspect of his voice. Like there is just something so nice about his voice in this album, which I find baffling, because if you'd asked me like 2 years ago, I'd say he wasn't a good vocalist at all. Like, I'd say his vocals were terrible. So it's kind of weird, but I guess that happens. Like, you kind of just accept that your opinion changes on artists sometimes and stuff. But no, I think he might have done some kind of like vocal training though at some point, because I just think he does sound like he's hitting notes way better. Like, there are some tracks where he goes quite high into the falsetto, like he'll just kind of like transition into it so swiftly, and I feel like that kind of skill does take training. So I mean, I don't really know anything about his personal life. Maybe he hasn't, but like there is just something about the way he kind of like goes in and out of that like high pitched voice that just really sounds like, again, like you said, like a bit like fairy tale-ish. It sounds really nice.
Yeah, that's something you just said that I felt about this album, but couldn't really put my words on. But those moments where he does kind of just like all of a sudden switch from like a normal register to these weird high pitched ones, like so many of those moments, they also pair really well with like a change in the instrumental at that point. And the like so many of those moments get me like really hyped, and I haven't been able to like put it into words why those moments get me so hyped, but I think it's what you just described, how his vocals just randomly like go to a falsetto and they just sound so pretty, and just it's just really blissful in those moments for me. Like some of my favorite tracks in terms of the vocals on here, I think like the back-to-back sequence of I Want It That Way and Baby, his tracks, I mean his vocals on both those are some of his prettiest and just most euphoric on the album to me.
Oh god.
And I just like every time, like I'm refraining from doing an impression here, because I don't think I think if I try to do it, it's just gonna be the sound of my voice cracking, because I can't match it, but just like
do it
he's like I just yeah, I think like okay, I'll try on Baby when he's like I'll be funny, I'll be fine, I'll be funny, I'll be fine. I just like I can't get enough of that.
Yes,
like,
we got it.
That song. But I mean, he kind of laces those vocals like all throughout. You know, there are some where he has his like more traditional vocal delivery throughout, but I loved, that's definitely one of the things I loved most about this album was his vocal progression on it.
Yeah, and I feel like on Baby particularly, out of all the tracks, he is a bit more like erratic and less controlled, which I think really works for the song. And he kind of, it feels like the part you just did there, like he kind of like lets loose a bit more, and it really works well with like the synths that kind of like clashing as well with this one. Yeah, it's really great. And I agree as well with I Want It That Way. That I don't know if that's my favorite track. It's really hard to pick a favorite track, but this
for me, I think it's. Oh, you go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah. I was just gonna say like, yeah, there's this one and a few others that I could say are my favorites. But what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say for me, it's Trendy, Baby, and I Want It That Way.
Yeah.
Those are the three that I'm just going to be playing over and over for the rest of the summer, and just like even this morning. So like while I was, you know, we have a bit of a time difference. So while I was kind of waiting for you, I went out and picked up some breakfast. And in the car, I was playing the album one last time just to like refresh my memory on it. And like I think it's going to be such a great summertime album, because it was just like a really sunny morning here, and the weather's only just started getting good where I live. But just like seeing like, I don't know, the beautiful green trees and the beautiful blue sky, and having this album on, like it was just the perfect atmosphere for it. So I already know that this is going to be one of my favorite summer albums.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I definitely get you. I also feel like there's like icy elements too in some of the tracks that could make it even work in like autumn and winter and stuff like that. But maybe that's just how I feel. Then again, like as good as like music can be for certain like seasonal moods, I can usually just play anything anytime anyway, so I probably would just play this in winter and think it sounds like a winter album, because that's just how I usually play music. But no, I definitely get you. There is something quite upbeat and uplifting about these tracks that definitely make it work for this time of year, especially in the UK, because we're actually getting some good weather at the minute, which is pretty rare to say. But no, yeah, I do. I want it that way. I think the you know, the little bit like in the I don't know if it's like the chorus. I mean, it kind of is, but you know, where he's like the I think that part sounds so good. Yeah. Like, he's so little good, like those little ad libs, like, man, he just throws in. I love
that part too.
They're just so effective, and then like the way the instrumental kind of like stops, and he's like, "I feel so strange," and then it comes back in. Bro. It's yes. So good.
I was just about to mention that part. Maybe not that part exactly, but not like at the end when the instrumental goes out for a second, he comes back like,
yeah,
I can't complain. Like, that's probably my favorite. Like, I am the master of my fate and I want it that way. Like, that part is just, that's my favorite part in the whole album. Like,
yeah, it's so good. It's great. But the only thing I'd say, I was thinking about this like before we kind of got into the review and stuff. Like, this track and a few others could maybe be a bit longer, but I don't know if it would work, because I know like Drain Gang are pretty much like tight 2-minute tracks. They do go above that sometimes, but a lot of the time they tend to stick to that. So I can't tell if this was longer, it would be worse or better, but I just feel every time it finishes, I'm like, no, I want it to keep going. I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to tell if it would work or not.
I see what you're saying, but I think for me the bite-sized track lengths is something that, I mean, not just for Drain Gang, honestly, but just for like this style of music in general, I think it's a good formula, because it just... especially on an album like this, where I really, there's 13 tracks, and I'd say at least 10 or 11 of them are like really, really good to me.
Yeah.
So like when it's that, like, it just has the effect in the end where like I just am playing this thing over and over. And I think if I looked at my last FM, I think I've listened to this album like 12 or 13 times. But wow. Honestly, like, which it seems like a lot, but I don't feel like I've spent like, an insane amount of time playing it, because it is rather short.
Yeah. So
I like how I can, it's one you can kind of just play over and over and get really familiar with it, but it's like, still pretty short, and you're not like just listening to like a hour and a half album.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just find the, and especially... with the flow of the album, just having shorter tracks just kind of allows you to like bounce between these different sounds he has on here, because I do kind of agree with you that some tracks are a bit more icy than sunny feeling. Like for me, the 9 is Up, for example. I kind of see that, or even another one of my favorite tracks actually is I Think.
Yeah,
I really like the kind of like the more like down tempo, like nighttime vibe it has. Yes. And that instrumental that almost sounds, it gives me like ringtone vibes, but I don't mean that as an insult at all. It's just like kind of like that's just what the synth makes me feel like. It sounds like the prettiest ringtone I've ever heard.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, very like 2000s kind of stuff, which I guess does fit like the trance vibe in some tracks. Maybe not this track particularly, but that was, I mean, I know you said you weren't that familiar with it, but I think in the UK there were a lot of artists like trying to like dabble in that sort of like style and stuff, and it was very like 2000s. And I would even say like PC Music have tried adopting some of it a little bit in their style, which again is very like nostalgic of the 2000s. So yeah, I like that comparison. That really works. But yeah, I think is definitely one of my favorite tracks too. I think there's just something so like soft and like comforting about it, and then his vocals just like cushion the instrumental so nicely. Like it's crazy. Like there's just such like warm and inviting elements to this album that I just like you. I mean, I've certainly not played it as much as you, but I've played it more than I would most albums that I'm like currently listening to, because it just keeps like luring me in.
Yeah, it definitely has a very mesmerizing feel that it just makes you want to keep coming back to it.
Oh yeah.
Because I'll say this, for the audience, but I know you already know this. But when I first heard this album, I did not, I did not like it really at all.
Yeah.
The one song is Trendy. I loved that the first time I heard it, and it's still probably one of my favorite tracks. But overall, I actually recorded a reaction to this album, and it was me being pretty negative the entire time, and that's why I didn't put it out, is because I just didn't really like how I came off in that video, but also because I kind of thought to myself, I was like, there's something really transfixing about this album, even though I don't like it, and I kind of want to listen to it a bunch more times before I really give an opinion on it. I'm really glad I did that, because obviously now I don't hate it, and I think it's probably, I mean, I not to like, I don't need to put a number on it, but it's definitely one of my favorite Bladee albums. I would put it up, honestly, at this point. At first I wasn't sure if it quite hit this level, but I think now I'd even say it's like basically at least on par with 333 for me. So this really is some of his best material to date, I think.
Oh wow, I wasn't expecting you to say that, because like when I checked your NotRealMusic as nerds do in their free time, I didn't notice your score being that high, but obviously maybe you've not updated it or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, so that's crazy.
I was purposefully not updating it until the video.
Oh, I see the sneakiness. I like it. But no, yeah, that's great. I mean, for me as well, that little run between Ego Baby, Trendy, and Search True, like that's such a great run. Like they're all like, they all sound similar, but there's this like a distinctness between each track, which I really like. Like within like the little like instrumentals and stuff like that, like there's just something that separates each one that I think is just really impressive, because like the overall sound of the album is very consistent, but yet I can still differentiate tracks even though they do all sound quite similar. It's really impressive.
I have to say, when it comes to Search True, every time I hear that song,
oh no,
all I can think when I hear that chorus is like, damn man, this is a centrist anthem.
Oh yeah,
when he says, wakes up and sees both sides.
Wakes up and sees both sides. Oh no.
I know that's not what he's talking about, but I just can't, like, the overly online person in me.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, this is a centrist anthem.
Oh no.
But I do like that song. I'm not like, that's just what my brain says to me. But
you know, that reminds me of I mean, you just said that like as a joke, but I mean, I'm not trying to throw disses at people, but let's just say his name is Anthony Fantano, and no, in his Deftones review, he mentioned that for the opening track. Was it the opening track? I think it's Genesis, and he says like the lead singer says a similar thing to that Bladee says, but like Fantano said it in the most serious voice. I was like, I don't think he meant it. Like, I don't think he was writing a centrist anthem, Fantano. like just get off the internet, please, man. Like, come on, dude. Like, yeah, it's like, come on.
No, it's so funny.
But yeah, I did think a similar thing when I heard that track, but it is great. But no, Hotel Breakfast, I feel like this might have some of the accidentally like funniest lines on the album.
Yes, I was gonna bring it up for the same reason. That lyrically I think it's the most memorable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, he sounds like he's like I don't know if you use Facebook much, but he sounds a bit like a Facebook mum on one of the parts where he's like, when you look at me and hate on me, I'm a mirror. If you look at me and don't like me, what does that say about you?
Yeah. No, I have to say that every time I hear that line, I'm like, what is it? What does he actually say? Like, what does that even mean? What? Like, are you saying that anyone who hates you, like, is just like you? Like,
Yeah.
like what's the implication? Like, I don't take it too seriously, but like,
No.
when I actually try and like really think about that, when I'm like, I don't really see what you're trying to get across.
No.
But
I mean,
there's also.
Oh, go on.
I also I always crack up. Well, when he says, "I'm Blade," she call me Bladee, because it's like, I mean, if you go back and watch like my first. Probably like 5 videos where I mention Bladee or shit where I mention Blade. I call him Bladee, and I know I'm not the only one out there who thought his name was Bladee for the longest time.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And even when I knew his name was Blade, I just struggled to like correct it in my brain. So I always find that line funny, and I also like just like the main chorus of the song where he's like what does he say on that crap I'm trying to read the lyrics here now, but I'm not seeing the line I want to say. Oh yeah, when he's like, you woke up late, the breakfast's closed.
Yeah.
And just because I highly relate to that, because as a kid, whenever my family would like go on vacations, like they'd always wake me up in the morning like, David, come on, it's time to like go to breakfast, it's closing soon. I'd be like, I'll be up in a minute, and then like I'd just go back to sleep, and then they'd come get me in like a half hour, like, David, we all just ate breakfast and like you missed it. Like,
yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I'll just have to deal with it.
I do like that. I do like that bit as well. Where he's like, pop out like, what does he say? Pop out like a toast. Like, what does that even mean, bro? But yeah, the line, I'm a good boy, no cussing. I was like, fair enough.
I love that. Oh my god, so many hilarious lines, and just like. I feel like it is very. I feel like he has to be very self-aware when he says lines like that.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's just like
he must be.
I'm a good boy on the track, no cussing.
But it kind of made me think: does he actually never swear? Because I was looking through some of the tracks. I couldn't really. I mean, he probably does, but I couldn't pick out many parts where he swears that much. I don't know. Maybe he does. I missed him.
I actually didn't really like. That might be true. I didn't even think to look into it, but I mean, if you go on like Apple Music, like, does he have like the explicit logo next to his music?
Oh yeah, no, never. Yeah, he never has. That's interesting. Maybe he is. Maybe he is a good boy.
Maybe he actually is a good boy.
Yeah. Oh, well done, Blade. Yeah.
Yeah, and just if we're gonna continue talking about the lyrics, I feel like a lot of this album has a lot of like romantic and love heavy content.
Yeah.
Which also kind of goes really well with the atmosphere of the album in general, like the really lovely, pretty sound that we've been talking about. I think. I feel like that also comes from what inspired his lyrics. I feel like he's probably just in a place where he's feeling very romantic and, in love. And I feel like there's definitely songs on here that hit really nicely if you're thinking about that special someone.
No, yeah. I definitely agree. I think that does help with artists generally. I mean, the first thing that came to my head when you were saying that then was, the most recent James Blake album, Assume 4, where, like, obviously since his last album, he'd got in a relationship with Jamila Jamil, and like every...
I'm so sorry, Ron.
What's going on?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just thought of... You had to bring that up, but I just thought did you see the tweet that was like how did John Legend and James Blake write such beautiful music about the two most annoying women on earth? I don't know if you saw that, but as soon as you mentioned James Blake's new girlfriend, I'm sorry, I couldn't say it. It just...
I don't think I saw that tweet, but that's so funny.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my god, is this going to be edited out or?
No, I'm putting that in. But
Oh wow.
that's not even. I don't know anything about Jamil or whatever James Blake's girlfriend's name is, so I'm not even trying to throw any hate here. But just that tweet just cracked me up.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, anyway, yeah. So yeah, obviously he wrote music about annoying women, but no, like he was obviously like very much in love, and you could see that like in the music, and it sounded a bit more like it just sounded happier, I guess, and that was definitely something you could pick up from this album here, which is cool. But yeah, I think as well, like something I used to say about Blade's music, which again didn't go down well in my comments section, was that like lyrically I never really got anything out of his music, but I know that it's not the main focus of his art anyway. Like I know like the main focus is the atmosphere and stuff, but I have noticed there's definitely like improvements in some of his lines in this album here, and with 333 as well. So it's cool to see that, like, you know, across the board I feel like he's really like shaping himself as an artist.
Yeah, I would even say, like, I mean, maybe I need to pay more attention to his lyrics on other albums, but for me personally, I think this is lyrically his best album to date.
Yeah.
Because you have songs like Hotel Breakfast where he's just giving you lots of quotables, and a lot of it is like really funny.
Yeah.
But then, you know, some of the more love-centric songs are actually like, you know, really emotionally resonant and pretty powerful. Like even, you know, on Trendy, for example, the part where he's like, the way she shines her light, you'll always be by my side, and I'll walk forward with pride. Like it's, you know, it's pretty simple. Like it's nothing like crazy that like, you know, you've never heard anything similar, but just the way it's phrased and the way it goes along with his really beautiful melodies, and it all just a really wholesome like feel of the music. Like it just complements it so well.
Absolutely.
And you really do just like kind of like internalize those lines. Like you really feel like the emotion from him on this project.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I totally agree. And yeah, like I think I've already said it in this video. Have I said it? I don't know. But yeah, this is my favorite Blade album easily so far. Which I thought it was going to be hard to top 333. But in my review, like I think I gave it a 7 out of 10, which is a really high score. Like I always stand by like 7 out of 10s being absolutely really good albums. But I didn't think like less than a year later I'd be going higher than a 7 out of 10 for Blade. So this is definitely one of the best like surprises of the year for me.
Nice. So it seems like you're teasing your score there.
Dude.
But before we hop into that, I just wanted to ask you one more thing.
Yes.
If you do you have a least favorite on this project? Because I definitely do.
Oh, least favorite song.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know what? I mean, I don't think it's like, there's no song that I'd say is bad, but the only thing I'd say with this album is that it probably could wrap up a little bit better, and I'd maybe say Wet brackets Water 2 could have been a better closer, but it's not like it's not that it's weak or anything. I just think I like albums to close out in quite a good way, and I don't think it's the best way to end. But yeah, that's probably my least favorite, but that's only a nitpick really. Go on, is yours different?
It is. I would have agreed with you if we recorded this like 4 days ago.
Oh shit, really?
I think the last track, Wet Water 2, it was probably the last one to really click with me. But I do think it actually, and it was kind of the same reason as you. Like I just thought Trendy and some of the other ending songs were so good. I was like, how can you end on this like more like low key note? But I do now. I think it's a pretty beautiful close to the project, and like just like his lyrical themes on it like seem very appropriate for a closer.
Okay.
Like the part where he's like, in the most isolated part of my being is where I will find everything. The flowers bloom and wither forever in the perfect dream.
Oh yeah.
Like it just seems like it almost makes it seem like, this whole album is very like dreamy and dreamlike, so it almost seems like this is the end of the dream. So I
Okay, I get
have
that.
come to appreciate this one. I'll say the one for me that I'm like you. I don't think there's any bad songs on this album, but the one that just is a little mediocre to me is actually Inspiration Comes with Thai Boy Digital.
Okay.
I just, it's one that as many times as I've listened to it, like, I don't really take much more from it than like, oh, it has some like pretty melodies and it kind of sounds the same as like a lot of the other songs,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really have anything that makes it distinct, whereas I feel like a lot of the other ones do. So, it's not by any means a bad song. I just, for me, it's the one that like I could take it or leave it. Like I don't need it to be on here.
Yeah. I get that actually. I mean, I think it's a good track, but yeah, I think especially considering it has a feature on, you think it might have been a bit more of like a standout moment because it's literally the only one that has a credited feature anyway, according to Apple Music. But yeah, I think like you'd think it would have probably stood out a bit more. But yeah, I get you. It kind of does blend in, especially in between like Baby and Ego Baby. Like those are some of the best tracks. So I get you. I definitely get that.
I think, that's probably also part of the problem is it's sandwiched between two of my favorites.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you were just teasing it a little bit ago, but let's hear your score for this one.
Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna go. I think an 8.5 out of 10. Like I rate like that on my channel. Like I do the 0.5s and so I think you do similar thing actually. So yeah, I think an 8.5. Like before. In fact, if we'd reviewed it when, like, as we said a few days ago, we've got time difference issues and stuff, and we're both pretty busy. I think I'd have probably said an 8, but I listened to it again just to prepare for the review, and actually, I was like, nah, you know what, this is actually really, really good. I'm going 8.5. But even still, it's like my favorite Bladee album, so the score just kind of is there to really just assist that. But it's great. It's one of my favorites of the year. I don't know if you, David, or any of the people watching watched one of my most recent videos, but I did say it was my favorite.
Your album highlights.
Yeah, it was my album. It's my album of May.
I was gonna joke about that at the beginning and say that you already spoiled your opinion. But, yeah,
a little bit, but no, that it's my favorite Bladee album. This is great, and feels nice to love a Bladee album. But go on then, what's your score, David? I feel like I know it, but go on, tell me.
So, I would have said a 7 if we did it when we initially planned this.
Yeah.
But a couple more days, I definitely have realized that this is one of my favorites of the year, and it is. Like I might just like right now I'd still put 333 a little ahead of it.
Okay.
But it's almost neck and neck for me, and I mean we'll see, like maybe over time it'll even like pass it, but for now I'll go with a very solid 8 on this. It's definitely
nice.
One that will end up pretty high, I'd say, on my year-end list, and I've been having lots of fun with it.
Yeah, man, that's great. That's great to hear. So yeah, we're pretty much in agreement, really. Again, I mean, back when we reviewed Charlie, I think we mostly agreed, but I think it's grown on you since then. Is that right?
Yeah. I really love that album.
Oh shit! Okay, that's crazy.
It's a little too late because the dislikes have already happened.
Yeah. Well. Will we sold out for this collaboration and we're just here for the likes? No.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. I mean, I think we're probably going to stay similar with this album. I think we'll both end up thinking it's really good. Like, I can't imagine it growing off me. It's just so replayable. And maybe it's time to go back to some of his earliest stuff and just try and see if I can get something to like out of them. Because maybe I will now.
Yeah. Although, I will say, like, to me, like, Ever Since is almost like nothing like this.
Yeah,
like, besides the fact that it's just like digital sounding, like pop or rap or whatever you want to say, but like besides the vague like similarities, like they're really not even close to the same to me.
I know what you mean.
So yeah. But yeah, like I'm not gonna discourage you from checking them out. Just just a heads up that like and even not just to you but to anyone watching, like if you do enjoy like this album here, it doesn't necessarily mean that his early stuff is gonna translate. But yeah.
No, I definitely get you. But we did highlight a lot of the
'Cause
improvements as well, so it does make sense. Like he has grown. So yeah, it makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a weird thing because like Blade fans, just like, you know, we'll wrap this up now, but I just want to say that like I always see Ever Since like named as like the favorite by a lot of hardcore Blade fans, and I can't understand that at all because like even because I like it, like I think it's pretty good, but I just don't understand how you can't see how he's improved on his newer stuff. But I mean, hey, like, you know, more powers to anyone who loves Ever Since the most, but it's just, to me, it's just a bit like confusing, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I get you. But no, yeah. I guess we're pretty much at the end. This is it's been good. It's been good, man. It's been good to talk about Blade.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Had a great time.
Of course, me too.
Yeah. I hope everyone out there enjoyed the collaboration. Thank you everybody for watching. I'll put links to Ryan's channel down in the description so you guys can go check him out if you want.
Thank you.
Anything else you wanted to add before we close things off, Ryan?
No, yeah, just I mean, I'm called the same on everything, so if you want to follow me on Instagram, just search for NotRealMusic. Follow me on Twitter, search for NotRealMusic. Like, just, yeah, if you want to follow me, I do post quite regularly on those, post videos and stuff, so yeah. And of course, subscribe to David, of course. If you're not subscribed to David, do that. But yeah, thank you, David, for this. It's been really good.
Yeah, and anyone who wants to follow me on social media can mind their own business, because that's just, it's my own private. No, I'm kidding. All my stuff is linked as well if you want to check it out. But I'm not on a Twitter hiatus. I'm just trying to like use it way less because I don't think it's the healthiest to be on it even for like an hour a day. Like, just because I feel like it can skew your perspective on reality a little bit if you're just on it too much. But yeah, I'll still go on every now and then. So if you want to follow me on Twitter or even rate your music if you're a real heavy music loser nerd person. But so I think that just about does it. Thank you everybody for watching, and yeah, have a great day.